Movie buffs, welcome back to the Movie Bay. This is D, and in today's video I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do 25 movies that I think every light collector should consider for their collection. Now this isn't for hardcore collectors like myself or people who collect even at a higher level than me. This is for people who's, to me, a light collector is someone that got a couple hundred films, maybe 500 or less. That might be considered a light collector. I think over 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 films, you're a hardcore collector. So with that being said, I'm going to show you 25 titles that I think you might want to take another look at if they're not in your collection. Now, I'm not telling anyone how to spend their money or say run out and get these today, but I'm saying if you don't have these in your collection and if you haven't seen any of them, just take a look at them and see, you know, if this is something that you want to add to your collection. In no particular order, we're just going to go down the list. And I might throw out a couple of honorable mentions that didn't actually make it into the video, but I have behind me. I only recommend films that I've seen or heard a lot of good things about. Generally, if I hear a lot of good things about a film, I'll get it. In most cases, sometimes I don't get around to getting every film I want when I want it. I might add it to the collection months or years later. So here we go. First title up is Dawn of the Dead. Now there is a Blu-ray release for this. This is a DVD. This is the unrated. This is the unrated edition. It says here unrated, too scary for theaters. So this is a really nice edition of the film. From what I understand, the Blu-ray release for this did not have all the features that this one have. This have tons of special features on it. That's why I was a little hesitant to give this up for the Blu-ray release. If they come out with a Blu-ray release that got these features or more, I'll consider upgrading. But until then, I'm gonna hold on to this DVD version of Dawn of the Dead. In my opinion, this is the quintessential zombie movie. Just like The Walking Dead is the quintessential zombie television show. So if you don't have this in your collection, take a look at Dawn of the Dead. Great cast. You got Mekhi Phifer, you got Ving Rhames. The list goes on. It's a good movie. So that's number one. Number two, we're going to take a look at Hoodlum. Okay? Hoodlum, you got Lawrence Fishburne, you got Andy Garcia, you got Tim Roth, you got Vanessa Williams. This is a fantastic film. It's the story of real-life American gangster Bumpy Johnson. I don't know how accurate it is, but this is his story. You might want to check this one out. This, for a hardcore collector, I'm quite sure you already have this one. A light collector may or may not have this, depending on what your movie tastes are. But if you like gangster movies at all, you'll love this one. Next up, and the requirement for a film to make this particular video, the film has to be over 10 years old. Now here's one that I think is probably, now this is one, look, let's take a look at it. This is Sylvester Stallone Rambo. This is the latest Rambo movie. There is a new one coming, Last Blood, but this, until that come out, this is the latest in the John Rambo series. I had this in my collection a while. You see the Hollywood sticker on it? I bought this from Hollywood Video when they were still around. So this is, in my opinion, this is the very best Rambo film. This trumps 1, 2, and 3 in my opinion. Maybe it's tied with 1, but this definitely trumps 2 and 3. I liked all the Rambo films. Don't take it the wrong way, but I think this is the best Rambo film to date. It might even be tied with 1. So we'll just say 1 and this one is the best Rambo films. Take a look at this one. If this one is not in your collection or you never saw this one, go ahead and take a look at this one. If you like Rambo films or Rambo type films, you'll be pleasantly surprised by this film if you never saw it. Check it out. Number 4 is a film that I think everyone who collects films probably got, but you know, just in case you don't, Interview with the Vampire. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt deliver stunning performances in this film. This is nothing short of a masterpiece. Now, I had this film in my collection a long time ago. You see the GameStop sticker here. Bought this from GameStop back when they sold DVDs. So yeah, Interview with the Vampire. Check it out. Number 5. Now here's a classic. RoboCop. The first RoboCop, not 2, not 3, not the reboot. The reboot wasn't bad, but it didn't have the soul of this one. This is a true masterpiece. Lightning must have struck on this one because they haven't been able to do it. You're in the 4th RoboCop movie, and they still haven't been able to do it as good as this one. 2 wasn't bad, I'll say that. 2 wasn't terrible. 3 was ridiculous. I don't know what they was thinking when they did that. RoboCop. I'm quite sure that everybody probably got this in their collection, but if you don't, you might want to take a look at RoboCop. This is part of an original trilogy, and there's a reboot and several other TV shows. So you might want to check this one out. There's also an animated series. Take a look at the original RoboCop. Here's one that's also part of I'm going to say, when I say original trilogy, that means the original is 3 or 4, well, for a trilogy, 3. But then there's some movies that spin off from it that I didn't really find interesting. And this next one is part of an original trilogy. House Party 1. This is the best one. 2 was okay. 3 was okay. Actually, all 3 of them this was great. The other 2 and 3 were good. So if you don't have House Party in your collection, I hope you saw it. If you collect films, I hope you saw this at least. If you don't have it in your collection, you might want to take a look again at adding House Party to your collection. I would say go ahead and add the original trilogy 1, 2, and 3. The other ones, if you want to, fine. I don't have the other ones. I wasn't interested because they didn't have Kid and Play in them. So go ahead and check out House Party and check out 2 and 3. Also, they also did another movie called Class Act. That was okay. It wasn't great, but check out House Party. Here's a legendary film that I enjoy watching this one. Pretty much, I can watch this anytime. Somebody say, D, let's throw this on. Somebody come over my house, or my wife say, hey, look, let's throw this movie on. I'm down to watch this all the time. And that is Predator, the original Predator. Predator 2, it was okay, I guess, but this movie is fantastic. This is on DVD, of course. This is a really nice edition of the film. Okay. Package, really nice. Got the little card still in it. It's got a little crease in it, but that's fine. We can work with that. This movie right here, you had a great cast. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had Jesse the Body Ventura was in this. Carl Weathers was in this. This was good, guys. If you've never seen Predator, which I hope everybody's seen Predator. If you didn't, check out Predator. Add it to your collection. There is Blu-ray releases for pretty much every film I just showed you. There is a Blu-ray release for all of them. Here's one. This is 2, but I'm going to just put it as 1. This is Ghostbusters 1 and 2. If you've never seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2, go see Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It's easy to come by. All the mom and pop stores got it, whether it be on DVD or Blu-ray. You can find it dirt cheap. It's a cult classic. I'm not even going to say cult classic because this has a mainstream following too. This is just a classic. 1 and 2 are classics. One being the better film. Check out Ghostbusters and add Ghostbusters to your collection, whether it be DVD or Blu-ray. I don't think there's any fear of this going out of print no time soon. So you're in good shape. This isn't one of the films that you got to drop everything for and go get because it's going to go out of print. So far, I don't think we ran across any film yet that I think is in danger of going out of print. If it's a film that's in danger of going out of print, I'll let you know. Next up is one that I just think that everyone should have a hard copy of because I think the acting in this, the story, everything about this movie is compelling. And it's Lawrence Fishburne, always outnumbered, always outgunned. This film is everywhere. You can even watch this movie for free on YouTube, the whole movie. But this is one that I would urge you, if you're a collector, to add this to your collection. Lawrence Fishburne delivers a stellar performance in this film. Next up is a true oldie but goodie, and I think you should have this in your collection. There's definitely a Blu-ray release for this one. It's The Warriors. So this not only spawned a Blu-ray release, but a very popular video game back during the Xbox 360. Was it the 360 or the Xbox, the original X? Yeah, back in the original Xbox and the PlayStation 2 days, the Warriors video game came out, and it was a pretty good video game. But this is The Warriors, and I think you should have this in your collection. I don't think there's a fear of this going out of print because it's just a lot of DVDs and Blu-rays of this out in the wild. And if it do go out of print, there's a lot of copies of this out in the wild already, so you shouldn't have a hard time finding this. Here's a film that I think is just mind-blowingly good. When I first saw this film, I went into it with low expectations, and this is one of the films that you go in not thinking much of and come out like, blow. Johnny Depp and Penelope Cruz deliver stunning performances in this movie. This movie is based on a true story. The guy is, I do believe he's still serving time. Well, I think he's dead now. I think he died in prison, but he was serving time over in Trenton, New Jersey, in the maximum security prison over there. This George Jung was a big time drug dealer. Started off small, moved up, and he was moving a lot of weight. Check out Blow. This is a very good movie. It's not your typical drug dealer movie. It's got a lot of elements to it. You might want to check this one out. It's a long film, so if you're going to watch this one, just make sure that you're comfortable wherever you are going to watch it, because I do believe this is about 2.5 hours. Next up is a classic film. I saw this when I was a kid, so this movie's been around for a bit. It's got a great cast. It's got great acting. The story is really like deep, and this is a long film. This has got to be about, I'll check the runtime real quick. Yeah, I thought so. This movie is 190 minutes. So this is, let's say at 120, that's what, 2 hours. So yeah, this is 190 minutes. This movie is super long, but it's super good. So again, this is one of those movies when you sit down to watch it, make sure you got at least 3 to 4 hours of dead time to dedicate to this movie, because 190 minutes, if my math is right, that's 3 hours and 10 minutes. So that's about, that's an hour, 3 hours and 10 minutes. So that's a long runtime for this movie. It'll have you here the whole time. Very complex story. It's this tale of these 3 brothers. These guys are brothers. Now, I think he's like an adopted brother to these 2 are blood brothers. And I think he's like an adopted brother to them too. But I can't give you too much. You got to see this one if you didn't see it. This one is called Blood In and Blood Out. Okay? Bound by Honor. You got to check this out. This is one of the deepest prison movies I've ever seen. And I've seen quite a few, and I have quite a few. This is one of the deeper ones. And this one, I don't really think this is going to go out of print anytime soon. Or if it do, you shouldn't have any problems getting a copy of this. And I'm not sure of the Blu-ray for this. It should be on Blu-ray. It's a very popular movie, so it should have a Blu-ray release. If not, you can find this on DVD all day. Next up is a movie that I thought, Gene Hackman is one of my favorites, and so is Willem Dafoe. Mississippi Burning. This is, these guys deliver a performance of a lifetime in this movie. It's about the 3 missing civil rights activists that went down to Mississippi. That's based on a true story. It really happened, and that's what this movie is based on. You got to check this one out. It's a very, very touching film. It's got a lot of good acting in it. Story is, from what I gathered, is kind of almost accurate to what really happened. Check this one out, Mississippi Burning. Now, I think there is a Blu-ray release for this, but if not, you might want to grab this one sooner than later because this is one that I fear will go out of print if it's not already out of print. Here's one that is an absolute classic. All of these I think are classics for the most part. That's why I pulled these out of my collection. Now I got more movies that I consider classics, but these are the ones that I pulled. And I tried to pull movies that are not common movies when we discuss favorite movies that everybody go to. You know, the go-to movies: Training Day, Goodfellas, Godfather, Casino, the go-to movies. I tried to pick movies that wasn't go-to movies. Here's one that I really enjoy, and this is another one that I can watch anytime. Seven. Now, me and my wife, we like to watch this movie. We watched this one together. We really enjoy this film. This is Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. I mean, Gwyneth Paltrow. This Kevin Spacey. This movie is, this is a good one, guys. And this is a special edition that I got here. That's why I didn't want to upgrade this one to Blu-ray. I got a really nice edition here. The DVDs are tucked underneath here. Really nice. This is like the books they found in his apartment. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So this is Seven. This is probably one of the best suspense thriller movies. One of the best ever made. This is probably my favorite suspense thriller movie. But to take it a step further, this is probably one of the best psychological thrillers ever made. And it could be the best thriller ever made. Add Seven to your collection if you don't already have it. There is a Blu-ray release for that. Here's another film that I think is a classic. Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, and Demi Moore. Kevin Bacon. Fantastic cast. A Few Good Men. Now, this movie takes place on a military base. And Jack Nicholson is, he's a general, I do believe he is, overseeing this academy, like this military academy, and a cadet was, they did like a strange initiation on him, or no, a code red. They issued a code red on him. I'm not sure what that was. More, I think it was like a hazing, and I think it went too far. He died, and it was a big investigation over who issued the code red. Long story short, there's a line at the end of this movie that Jack Nicholson delivers that people use today. It's a great line. I'm not going to give you too much on it, but just know that Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, and Demi Moore deliver a fantastic performance in this film. Check out A Few Good Men. And it's an oldie but goodie. If you don't have this in your collection, you might want to go ahead and check this one out. Again, I do believe there is a Blu-ray release for this one. I don't know if this is going to go out of print anytime soon, so I don't think I'm really fair for this one going out of print. Here's one that I know there's still plenty of them in the wild. There's even a Blu-ray in the wild, and that is Edward Norton and Brad Pitt, Fight Club. Fantastic film. This is another one that when I first saw it years ago, I went into it with low expectations and came out, wow. I like when I see films that I don't have, that I'll look at it initially, maybe look at a trailer or something and say, oh gosh. But then when I watch it, I'm like, oh man, that was fantastic. This is one of those films. Check out Fight Club. Next one is a oldie but goodie and a real good movie. This is Rosewood. This is based off of true events that happened to a majority black town called Rosewood that was destroyed, burned down, and most of the people in the town were killed over a lie that really happened. This movie is very, very sad. Very, very sad. Good acting though. Jon Voight, Ving Rhames, Estelle Roll is in this. Quite a few good actors in this movie, but it's a very sad movie and it's very difficult to watch. I don't care if you're white or black or Hispanic. If you watch this movie, this is a very difficult movie to watch. But if you're black, this movie is really difficult to watch. But if you're human, this is difficult to watch. But again, like I said, if you're a black person watching this movie, this is a hard to watch movie. And this is Rosewood. Awesome movie. Check it out. Here's another one that I think is a classic. And this is a movie that when we talk about like organized crime movies and gangster movies, mob movies and stuff like that, it don't come up much. That's why I picked this one. Carlito's Way. Now there is a second Carlito's Way, Rise to Power. It didn't have Pacino in it because we know what happened, but it was good. Rise to Power was excellent. I didn't put it here because I just wanted to grab the original, but I'm just putting it out there. I do have it behind me. Carlito's Way, Rise to Power. You want to check that one out too. That's an excellent film. But this one is one that you want to add to your collection. There is a Blu-ray for this. There's plenty of copies of this all over the place. Even if this do go out of print, there's still plenty of copies on the secondhand market. You won't have no worries getting a copy of this. Now, I didn't say anything about Rosewood. Rosewood, I'm not too sure if there is a Blu-ray for this. It should be. And if not, you might want to grab this one sooner than later. I don't know about the in-print status of this one. I'm not fearful that you won't be able to get a copy of it, but it might be a little harder to get than, say, a movie like Fight Club or Predator or something like that. Now, some movies, even if they're not out of print, they're a little harder to get, and if you can find them, they're a little pricier. So, yeah, just be mindful of that, too. Especially when you're talking films like these that are 10, 15, in some cases, close to 20 years old. Here's one. Ray. Jamie Foxx delivered, in my opinion, his best performance. Now, Jamie Foxx got quite a few good performances, but none like this. His performance in Django Unchained was excellent, but this was mind-blowing. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Jamie Foxx killed this movie. This movie was a phenomenal movie then. It's a phenomenal movie now. If you don't have this in your collection, get it. If you've never seen this, go see it. This is a must-watch, must-own. If you're a collector, you want this in your collection. There's definitely a Blu-ray for this because this came out during the time of Blu-ray. A lot of these movies have Blu-rays because they came out during the time that Blu-rays was starting to pick up. So, Ray, add this to your collection. Next up, here's another one of those movies that is very sad and difficult to watch, but you watch it for its historical value, and this is Schindler's List. This is a fantastic set. This is a really, really sad movie. And again, like I said, if you're human, these kind of movies are very hard to watch because you can feel the pain in these movies. This movie is about the Holocaust. Jewish people called the Schindler's Jews. And it was sad, guys. It was really, really sad. But check it out. It's shot in black and white. Liam Neeson is the main protagonist. Fantastic movie. Very difficult to watch. Very sad what happened to these people. Next up, one of my favorites. One of my favorite movies of all time. This is Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman. This is Unforgiven. And you see this is a Blu-ray. It's available on DVD. This is a must-have for your collection. It is probably one of the best Western films of all times. I'm not going to say it's the best. There's too many Western films to give this the best, but this is probably in the top 10 easy. And to some, like myself, this is in the top 5. This is, and I do believe Eastwood was in front of and behind the camera for this movie. If you've never seen Unforgiven and you like Western films, hell, if you don't like Western films, you want to check out Unforgiven. This movie is all that plus a bag of chips and a 2-liter Pepsi. Next up, American History X. Ed Norton just delivers a fantastic performance in this movie. It's a movie about hate and overcoming hate. This movie is a very valuable lesson. The lesson is that if you have hate in your heart, under the right circumstances, you can overcome it and beat it. And you can turn that hate into love. That's what this movie is basically about. But it's a lot in between that. The man goes on a journey and his transition is long and difficult, but he does transition. But that life that he lived before is going to come with a cost. That he's going to pay a cost for his life before his transition. American History X. Next up, Misery. Now, real quick, American History X, there's a Blu-ray for this, and I don't think you have to worry about the print status on this one. Misery. This is available on Blu-ray. This is a DVD. It's available on Blu-ray. I don't think you have to really worry about being, not being able to find a copy of this. I don't know if this. I don't think this will go out of print anytime soon. Excellent movie. It's you got James Caan and you got what is Kathy Bates. Add this to your collection. This is a fantastic film, guys. He's a writer who goes away when he's trying to get away from it all to write a book, to write his books, and he has an accident on his way down from his cabin. She finds him, and it's on from there. What I can say about the next film is Spike Lee and Denzel Washington, they made movie history with this one. Malcolm X. This is probably one of Denzel Washington's best performances, and Denzel Washington has nothing but stellar performances. This is one of his best by far. This movie has got a long runtime. Let me see here. Let me check the runtime for you guys real quick. If I can see it quick without holding it up too long. I don't see the runtime on this one. On the back, usually they have the runtime sitting right on the back for you guys. But either way, the runtime on this one is probably close to 3 hours. If not, probably the same as Bound by Honor, about 3 hours, 3 hours and 10 minutes. So make sure when you sit down to watch this one, you got about 3 hours of disposable time. I would say 3 to 3.5 hours of just time to dedicate to this movie. But it's worth every minute. This is a great film on the life of Malcolm X. Last but not least, again, this is a movie I don't think you have to worry about print status. Malcolm X, I don't think you have to worry about print status. There is a Blu-ray for that. Crimson Tide. There's many different versions of this on DVD. Not only is it multiple versions of it on DVD, there's a Blu-ray release for this. And so I don't think you have to really worry about status as far as it going out of print. Fantastic film. This is, again, like I said, with Denzel Washington. Here's another one of Denzel Washington's great performances. This is a fantastic performance by Gene Hackman. Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington, it works. The clashing, it works with these two guys. This is a phenomenal film. You got to check this one out. This is a must-add to your collection. So that's 25 films that I think that you might want to take a look at. We'll do this again. I mean, we could do 25 films again. I might lower it next time, do 10. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to do a, me and Greg over at Goodies was talking about like mob movies. So I might put something together for the best organized crime movies. Not just the mob, because when you think of the mob, you think about the Italian mob. But I'm thinking about doing something that's all like organized crime. That would include street level organized crime, Italian level organized crime. So stay tuned for that. I'm just putting finishing touches on that one, trying to get all the material together. So this is D from the Movie Bay. That's 25 movies I think that the light collector might want to take a look at and add to your collection. If you never saw any of those, go ahead and check them out. They're all pretty good films. This is D. Thanks for supporting the channel, guys. I appreciate it.